July 8th, 2023. Figured this morning would be a good time to show you our view of the Crevice Garden area from our downstairs, our garden level part of the home. This is the bank of windows that's directly underneath that elevated deck from our front doors. But this will be a pretty neat view, kind of a, ground level view of the Crevice Garden area. This is soil. There's, the god-awful 40-year-old landscape fabric down here, an old irrigation that needs to come out. But this is where, from this row of windows out, I need to make sure that the water's going to drain away from the house. And you can see my temporary, I'm probably going to relocate this, but 6 weeks ago, when we were really getting those rains in May, I dug just a swale, a trench, basically, not a swale, just to keep water away from the house. Well, I can relocate that. The location of this trench or swale does actually follow the topography. That's kind of the natural direction water wants to go, because as you can see, it's a little higher over here. This is kind of the low spot, which is why I dug that trench. But more on that later, because we're going to have to change the location of that swale. So you can see there's that retaining wall on the corner of our house. The spruce is up here. There's our Crevice Garden viewing platform. There's a retaining wall, sorry. On the other side, that's our one juniper we're keeping in this area. I'm going to try to Milwaukee that juniper. More retaining. Well, that's part of the deck, actually. This deck will be replaced in 2 or 3 or 4 years. It's a wooden deck. I think these wooden piers are sound, so they're probably not we can probably reuse those, but we'll probably have to replace this whole deck, and we'll probably use some sort of Trex material for that. So that's something to think about as we're designing the Crevice Garden. There will be stairs coming down from this lower deck / viewing platform, and there will be a landing here. I'm gonna have to prune some branches off the juniper, and the steps will be along the side of this deck, and they will step down and come to the ground level here. So basically access from this lower deck into the Crevice Garden area. So that's another thing to consider, especially if we're going to be piling rocks against this retaining wall and having a little finger of Crevice Garden rocks coming down here. We have to remember there's going to be steps there. So this is the view from the downstairs.